As Mr. Alexander said, the specific issue here tonight is the deviation, pilot deviations, the 15 to 20 year deviation, and how the pilot is allocated, which frankly the developer is indifferent to. The larger focus, as with any pilot, and some of those questions have already been asked, and they're good questions, I'm going to get to those shortly, is what are the economic benefits made possible by the pilot program? And while the generation portion of the project, which is what this pilot is about, is separate from the transmission line, I was asked to address the transmission line as well. Again, I think those are separate issues, but just to reemphasize again, as Mr. Alexander said, just be very clear, the pilot that we're talking about here is only proposed for the generation aspect of the project, not the mainland transmission, and there's no request by the developer for relief from the property taxes for the transmission line. By way of background, it was suggested that I give a little quick background too on the generation project itself, because there were some legislators who may not be fully. This has been going on, as I think it was mentioned before. The company started this in early 2007, so we've been working on this for not quite 3 years. But there's been a lot out in the public, and so I don't know what the county board knows and doesn't know. So forgive me if I'm going over some stuff you may have already been aware of. Obviously, everybody knows where Galloo Island is, and the question we get often is, why did you pick Galloo? And it comes down to really 2 reasons, but the primary reason is wind resource. Less than 1% of the land mass, mainland land mass of New York State has a Class 4 wind resource or better, which is the basic that you need for a viable wind farm. Galloo Island has better than a Class 4 wind resource because it's offshore. So, number 1 reason was wind resource. And there are very few places in the state where you can put one and still have a viable project. This is not for lighting up condos in Manhattan, as has been raised in a bunch of other public meetings. This is not power that's generated here to be rushed downstate. This power is regional. There is no component where it's being sent downstairs, downstate. This is where the wind is, period. That's where we are. Second reason is the remote nature of this project. I know that the community is aware of or has got some other proposals, I believe north of here, and there was another one a little south of here, and without making any statement whatsoever as to whether those are good or bad projects, you know that they come with land use issues. So the second reason Galloo Island was chosen is because we're 6 to 8 miles from the shore. Compare that to a lot of projects in the mainland where you've got turbines 1,200 feet from residences. So we don't have issues here of shadow flicker, of noise, of ice stroke, of road damage. All those things removed. So those are the 2 main reasons, wind resource and the remoteness of the island in terms of land use issues. There are some people now raising objections to the island, but it's primarily because of the transmission line. I am going to talk about the transmission line. And there are others who I believe that they can stop the Galloo Island project, which we believe is cited very responsibly. They can stop the transmission line. If the transmission line stops, it makes it hard for other projects. And again, we don't care about those projects. We're only concerned about ours. I think it is important, though, while we're on the generation portion, we should talk just briefly what I mean by how far away we are. I'm sorry, I got the wrong. This is out of order. This is Sackett's Harbor, which is probably the most sensitive view that we had the State Historic Preservation Office had us look at, and the DEC, and this shows it before and after. I don't know if you can see that. This is the view. Because we're so far out, this is the view. Agencies. We have been at this for a while on the generation portion. The transmission portion is basically just the formal process is just starting now. But on the generation portion, we've had 2 years of painfully detailed studies. I wanted somebody to bring I couldn't get anybody to lug it over, but it was somebody from the county would lug over the DEC, Department of Environmental Conservation Environmental Impact Study, which is 3 volumes long. We have spent millions and millions of dollars studying everything from birds and bats and radar studies to flora and fauna, and I kid you not, historic rocks. We were looking for historic rocks, pavement barrens. I don't know where all these studies come from, but the DEC has looked at this extremely thoroughly. Again, we're talking about the island portion, the PSC I'll talk about, and the transmission line in a moment. And on top of the Department of Environmental Conservation, on top of the Public Service Commission from the transmission portion of this, there are an awful lot of other federal and state agencies that this project has to go through in order to be approved.